Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Quad City sports fans of all ages, Town Square Media is proud to present to you the best Quad City sports talk radio show in the world. With the face who runs the place, T-Roy, the OG on the marquee, Jaybird, and the cat who runs the chat with the stats, Statman Surge. We are Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. We're not a Quad City sports talk radio show. We're not the Quad City sports talk radio show. We are your Quad City sports talk radio show. Welcome to the conversation, Quad Cities. But first, the dawn.
I know I'm a day late, but I gotta do it. Eddie-O! That's right, my boy Eddie Ogeron. Way to go, son.
Get out of here.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Your boy, Eddie.
Eddie-O!
So now you're boys with Eddie and Dabo?
Well, I used to sing that song to my buddy Ed Osborne. I used to work with him at Tuxedos back in the day. So I don't know where Big Ed's at. But if you're out there listening, if you know Big Ed, I want him to call in. But I used to, whenever we would do Minnie the Moocher, I would sing, Eddie-O!
Okay.
So Eddie Ogeron, Eddie-O, man.
Yeah.
T-Roy called it practically. I mean, I had 42-24, 48-24, 42-25.
It's really close, yeah.
I'm like Nostradamus when it comes to this stuff.
I was
Jay.
10 off on each one of them. I had 52-35. It ended up being 42-25.
You were still on the right side, though.
I was on the right side, yeah.
What a great game.
It was a good game.
Well, anyway, hey, everybody out there. Welcome to Don't Hassle So
We
Local.
got a radio show.
We do have a radio show here on AM 1170. The K-Bop-Bop-Bop-Bobberino.
When do we want to unpack this bag? We have a radio
we got a lot
show.
of stuff to talk about.
We are the last, now, we are
the only
AM talk show. Doesn't matter.
Those of you that don't know what happened, apparently yesterday, iHeartMedia
Purged.
basically, and let go of a lot of our friends. And very sad and very upsetting.
It's straight. We'll talk more about it. We are going to dig.
Yeah,
we're going to
we'll
dive deep into this.
that. Yeah,
because I want to take you through yesterday. Because I didn't see you yesterday, and most of the stuff happened after we were off the air.
Yeah, everything
anyway.
happened off the air.
And I texted you, and you and I have talked before today off the air, so we'll get down into it more. But no, it's.
Well, yeah, I know, and I missed yesterday all our talk about the national title game. Anybody out there that follows me on Twitter, I now have a soft spot for Dabo Sweeney.
Yeah, explain this to me?
All right, so I watched that game from kickoff to the final play.
Okay.
And I was thinking about maybe a couple national titles ago, and then I want to say I watched the LSU-Alabama game. And I was thinking about how I watched Nick Saban react to players, whether they made a mistake or not. Well, and a lot of times on the degree of the mistake or whatever else. Things Saban would do, the way Saban would act on the sideline, the antics, if you will. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. And I'm not just saying like when things are good and you're rooting and Ron, okay? There were some players that made some mistakes. There was some frustration. Every time it happened, and if they did show it, and I said it happened more than twice. I want to say it happened 4 times. Twice with Sunshine, and then a couple times with some defensive players. Namely the one that got kicked out for targeting.
Okay.
Dabo walked over to every one of these players, approached them in a calm, comforting manner, talked to his players, and you could tell what he wasn't saying negative things. He wasn't yelling at a player. He's like, you know what? Your head up, boom, boom. You could tell the whole thing. Good dude, down the heart. Now, I watched this happen with Saban. It's nothing but yelling, screaming in their face. He had the kid. I want to say it was when they played Georgia. In that kid's face, the kid tried to attack a coach. They were so bad yelling at this kid.
Yeah.
All right. That's the difference between the programs.
So you got a guy.
Well, I'm just saying. He's the leader of men. If you want to lead men, you want to lead young people. It's not all about getting in their face and screaming. Yeah, sometimes people need to be told when they're doing wrong. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
Yeah, because I'm all about telling someone if they're doing something wrong. But I'm not necessarily going to be in their face screaming at them.
Let me give you a
and
quote.
belittling them, which Saban does.
Let me
Sorry,
give you a quote.
It's true.
It's funny that you mentioned that. And maybe I'm going to have to find that quote. Maybe it's from Monday.
Dabo, T-Roy likes you now.
Yeah.
Even though you might be cheating, but that's okay.
Even though you might be. Yeah, were you out watching the game or were you at home?
Yeah, I watched it.
Oh, you went to Scotty Bottles.
Yeah, Scotty Bottles going away.
Okay. I watched it at home. I mentioned this yesterday. ESPN2 had Pat McAfee and then on the other side, Dan Orlovsky, and they had two other guys. And unfortunately, I don't remember their names, but they had four guys calling it. I said it yesterday. It was like football adrenaline. It was crazy. It was nuts. It was the best thing you could ever have because you just had fans of football and at the same time watching it with microphones. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
McAfee, a kickoff. Boom! It's boomer. That's a boomer. It's just a kickoff, and he gets all excited. So, and Orlovsky's breaking things down. But when the targeting that happened, McAfee's like, I just had to watch that guy walk off the field. And he goes, let me tell you something. That was one of the hardest things to look at. He's like, and he's played in the NFL, but he saw it in his eyes. How much that kid was, how much it hurt for that kid to be kicked out of that game.
Yeah, I mean, everybody says, it's so boom, bang, bang, Yeah. Everything, your reaction time. If you don't make that reaction to tackle somebody, I mean, was it classic targeting or head-to-head or whatever you want to say? Was it head-to-head contact? Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Was it intentional? I don't think so. I really don't. I don't think his intent was to hurt anyone.
No.
And he didn't. But, that's the thing. There's a different set of rules in college and pros right now when it comes to that head-to-head contact, and you call things targeting and whatever else. And the problem was, there probably were a few times that there were plays that were targeting. And an overreaction to a problem is what we had. And now good kids are getting taken out of ball games because of it.
Okay, you mentioned something, leader of men, okay? And this is something that I was up yesterday. So it was 52 years ago yesterday that the Green Bay Packers, the defending NFL champions, Green Bay Packers, defeated the Oakland Raiders 33-14 in Super Bowl II. All right, is that the Orange Bowl in Miami?
Yeah.
But to your point, when you said about Dabo and his relationship with his players, there's a quote by Vince Lombardi. And the quote is, "It is essential to understand that battles are primarily won in the hearts of men. Once you have won his heart, he will follow you anywhere." So just kind of like what you said about Dabo. And we all know how great Vince Lombardi was as a coach.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. Watch. Over the course of the next probably 3-4 years, watch how great that LSU program remains. We already know Clemson is good.
Yeah, and they've got the #1 recruiting class. They're the odds-on favorite to win next year.
They're gonna
Lawrence
continue to take recruits away from Bama.
LSU,
both those schools.
Okay, it's funny when Coach O wanted to stay at USC. He was the interim coach, and USC didn't want him. He sold himself LSU that he was bringing Lane Kiffin and another person that was off of like Alabama staff. Like it was the band coming back together, and then they didn't follow him. And LSU was kind of like, man, you sold us a bad deal that didn't happen. LSU at first, the athletic department was not too happy that these guys didn't follow. He went into the interview saying, I've got my boys. I've got Lane coming, and I can't remember who the other guy's coming. These guys are coming with me. And they didn't. And LSU was not too happy at first. Neither was LSU Nation. Now, I mean, that guy, him and Joe Burrow are never paying for a drink in the whole entire state.
No.
The entire bottom portion of Mimel. Do you know what Mimel is?
Sounds good, though.
Mimel is the portion of the Mississippi of the states. Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana. That's how they call it. Mimel. Yeah, his name is Mimel. Iowa's the head of Mimel.
Oh, yeah, the nose.
Yeah, we're in the nose. Yeah,
we're right in the nose.
Anyway,
here's the deal. I mean, good Lord. I lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
But,
right.
yeah.
They, like I said, he'll never have to pay for another drink in the state of Louisiana. Neither will Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is the coolest man that I know right now. They did lose.
Did they almost get arrested for smoking cigars? Is that true?
Yeah, they did. They told him, it was illegal.
It was illegal. You could get arrested.
Yeah, they flat out told him that. Emily, and I texted Emily, maybe she'll be on the show. She tweeted out there that, in fact, they came in and told him that you can't smoke cigars in here.
Yeah. Burrow's off to the NFL. Don't know who else on that team with senior leadership are out the door. But I'll tell you what, man, there was a lot of speed on that field.
Oh, we didn't talk about this the other day with Vasco. You just nailed it. Speed. They were the defense. So right away, the defense and both offenses, not so much Clemson, more LSU, but they adjusted to defense. But at first, those defenses threw them for a loop. Like they had.
Yeah.
Do you remember the play where LSU's number 7, he came creeping up to the line, and then Lawrence backs off and he starts pointing out blitz here, blitz there, right? And they even circle him. This was early because this is when I was watching Herb Street and Fowler on just a regular ESPN. They circle him. They go, the number 7's coming, approaching. Lawrence sees it, he recognizes it, and then he backs off. And he backs off like further, and he's like 12 yards out, and he still made that sack. That's fast. I mean, in my life, I could never be that fast. And the Clemson was the same way on defense. Burrows, he had to adjust.
Burrows, they were giving him fits. I was like, whoa, what's going on? This is insane. I was like, man, maybe Carl was right. This defense is way too much. But, at the end of the day, I can tell you what, both those offenses earned everything they got. I mean, that was one of the hardest defensively fought games at a 42-24. Mm-hmm. I mean, it seems like, oh my God, that's a lot of points. I mean, they fought for every point.
Supposedly, Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator, or the quarterback's coach for LSU, is going to be the offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers. Supposedly.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll make that big of a difference. Hats off to LSU. They saw something in Joe Burrow, and they changed their entire offense. They are traditionally a power running team.
Yeah.
That type of thing is, and when Kaker comes in the second half, we'll talk about that. How Iowa and Kirk, they stick to their philosophy.
Yeah,
it's not like they're changing to their strengths. We recruit to our strengths, but what Iowa does, we recruit to our philosophy, our offensive philosophy. Hats off to LSU for changing everything. I rewrote all the record books in the SEC and the NCAA in this past season. It sucks that it's over, but it was a lot of fun. Before we take a break, I'll leave you with this question then, because we're talking about Joe Cool.
Now you're calling him Joe Cool?
Oh, yeah.
Jesus H.
Joe Burrow will likely become the third player since the AFL-NFL merger to A, win a Heisman Trophy, B, win the national title, and C, go number 1 overall in the draft. All right? So in 99 days is the draft. More than likely, we're assuming.
So he's already won a national title. He's
Yes.
already won the Heisman, and he already what was it?
Okay, and it would be number 1 overall
number one overall.
All right. So Joe Burrow will likely become the third player since the AFL-NFL merger to A, win the Heisman Trophy, B, win the national title, and C, go number 1 overall in the draft.
Who are the other players?
Who are the other 2 players? They both were drafted in this century. This century, meaning so.
Since 2000.
Yes. There's 2 other players since the AFL-NFL merger that has A, won the Heisman Trophy,
Do I get
B,
a
won the
guess
national
now
title.
or wait till we come back?
Wait till you come back. C, go number 1 overall in the draft. 2 other players, both were drafted in this country. We'll give you the answer to that question when we come back.
For nearly 12 years, Pints has been providing the Quad Cities with some of the best beer, drinks, and good times around. Join them Monday through Friday for happy hour 3 to 6 and have some of that complimentary Vans pizza at 5 o'clock when you're there. Stop in any day of the week for one of their daily specials. That's Pints, 5268 Utica Ridge Road in Davenport.
Well, Salsa, you're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
Car old? Need it sold? Get rid of that old car and do a good deed at the same time. It's the Arrowhead Ranch Annual Auto Auction coming soon to Coal Valley. That's right, it's back. Donate your car, truck, SUV, or motorcycle, and if you live within 40 miles of Coal Valley, they will even pick it up, even if it doesn't run. All donations are tax deductible. Call 309-799-7044 or visit them online at arrowheadyouth.org. Car old? Need it sold? Arrowhead Ranch Annual Auto Auction. Stay tuned for an auction date in Coal Valley.
At Casey's, we're not just here for our town. We're here for our schools. Introducing new Casey's Rewards, the new rewards program from Casey's that lets you turn your purchases into donations to your school. Sign up in the Casey's app and earn points you can turn into school donations, Casey's Cash, or fuel discounts. New Casey's Rewards. Points for school, points for you, points for fuel, points for good.
New Year's is here, and so are New Year's resolutions. If you're bored with the same old gyms and workout routines, try a different, fresh way to get in shape with a membership to Tarpons Martial Arts Center. Try karate, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, or judo, all taught by certified black belt instructors. With flexible class schedules and 2 Quad City locations, it's very easy to start your path to learning a valuable skill set while you get in shape. Join now, and new students get a free uniform and official t-shirt online at tarponsdojo.com.
Back by popular demand, Gobo Productions presents One Night of Queen. Since forming in 2002, Gary Mullen and the Works have performed to sell-out audiences all over the world. And now they're back in the USA for a brand new tour. One Night of Queen is a spectacular live concert recreating the look, sound, and showmanship of arguably the greatest rock band of all time. You'll hear classic Queen numbers including We Will Rock You, Fat Bottom Girls, Another One Bites the Dust, Bohemian Rhapsody, and We Are the Champions. One Night of Queen, performed by Gary Mullen and the Works. This show will rock you.
Coming to the TaxSlayer Center March 18th. Tickets are on sale now at the TaxSlayer Center box office and Ticketmaster.com. Presented by Town Square Media. It's Putt-Around time. Get your foursome together for the 15th annual Big Brothers Big Sisters Putt-Around. Over 20 custom-built holes transform the River Center into the most innovative mini golf course ever. Only $30 per person and great for any skill level. Register at puttaround.org before January 17th to be entered into a Quad City staycation giveaway. The 15th annual Big Brothers Big Sister Putt-Around, sponsored by Wells Fargo and the Quad City Area Realtors, January 29th through the 31st at the River Center in Davenport. Sign up today.
With the loss of a loved one, planning a fitting service can be a real challenge. At Whelan Presley Funeral Homes and Crematory, with our personalized service and attention to detail, you can be confident the service will be everything you wished for. We've been serving families in our area for generations. We would be privileged to serve yours too. Whelan Presley Funeral Homes and Crematory, Rock Island, Milan, Reynolds, and the Knox Chapel.
There are a lot of things you can tell Alexa. What she likes to hear the most? Alexa, play ESPN 1170. Enable the skill and listen anywhere to the Quad Cities sports leader.
This is Lobo from Lobo Salsa. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
All right, Quad Cities, we're back with your favorite show, Don't Hassle Us Local on AM 1170.
By elimination. Well, yeah, ESPN 1170, Don't Hassle Us Local. Thank you all for listening on radio. Remember, you can listen on your smartphone, download the app, ESPN 1170 AM. You can listen on ESPN1170am.com. Click on the upper right-hand corner, listen now, and you can always watch us live on Facebook Live on our Don't Hassle Us We're Local page. Congratulations to Duke Slater and Alex Karras, former University of Iowa football players that are going to be inducted into the 2020 Centennial class.
Yay.
Duke Slater joined the Iowa program following a prep career at Clinton High School. He earned first-team All-Big Ten honors in his final 3 seasons. Slater earned first-team All-American honors in 1921, becoming the first African-American at Iowa to earn the distinction. In his 4 seasons, Slater helped Iowa post a 23-6-1 record. Iowa had a perfect 7-0 Big Ten record in 1921 to claim the conference title and was named by more than one media outlet as national champion. Slater played 10 seasons of professional football. He was the first African-American lineman in NFL history and the only African-American to play in the NFL in 1927 and 1929. He was a 6-time All-Pro. During the NFL offseason, Slater took classes to earn a law degree at Iowa in 1928. He served as a Chicago assistant district attorney and in 1960 became the first black member of the Chicago Superior Court. He moved to the Circuit Court of Cook County in 1964. He passed away in 1966 at the age of 67. He's one of the 5 members of the inaugural Iowa Sports Hall of Fame in 1951 and was a member of the inaugural National Football Foundation College Football Hall of Fame that same year. Slater Residence Hall on the University of Iowa campus bears his name and is the only Iowa residence hall named after a student athlete. I did not know that.
Well, yeah, why am I just learning about this guy now in my life?
Well, as part of the 100-year celebration of Iowa football in 1989, Slater and Karras were named to Iowa's all-time football team. Alex Karras, also known as Webster's...
or Mongo.
Mongo, yeah.
From Blazing Saddles.
That's a really good reference and one that we miss a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
any type of Blazing Saddles reference, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of Blazing... We can't say a lot of those references on the air.
No. Alex Karras was Webster's guardian. Alex Karras was a defensive tackle for the Hawkeyes in 1956 and 1957. He's a native of Gary, Indiana. He earned All-American honors as a junior and was a consensus All-American as a senior. He earned the Outland Trophy in 1957 as the top lineman in the nation and was second in the voting for the 1957 Heisman Trophy. Karras and the Hawkeyes posted a 16-2-1 record in 2 seasons, concluding the 1956 season at 9-1 after a 35-19 win over Oregon State in the Rose Bowl. The Hawkeyes won the Big Ten title and were named national champions by at least one national media outlet. Karras was the 10th player selected in the 1958 NFL Draft. He played his entire NFL career for the Detroit Lions, earning first or second team All-Pro 9 times and being selected to the Pro Bowl 4 times. Karras was inducted into the Iowa Varsity Club Hall of Fame in 1989 and was inducted into the National Football Foundation College Hall of Fame in 1991. Karras passed away in 2012 at the age of 77. Slater and Karras joined 3 other Hawkeyes as members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Safety Emlyn Tunnell, safety Paul Cross, and defensive end Andre Tippett. Congratulations to those guys going in. Unfortunately, we do have to point out Roger Craig didn't make it, and that is complete BS.
Yeah.
The members of the Hall of Fame Centennial class are Jimbo Cover, Winston Hill, Harold Carmichael, Duke Slater, who we mentioned, Ed Sprinkle, Alex Karras, who we just mentioned, Bobby Dillon, Donnie Shell, Cliff Harris, Max
The
Speedy,
luscious Bobby Dillon.
Bill Cower, Jimmy Johnson, Steve Sable.
Sable.
It's Sable.
Oh, it was Sable.
Sable.
Okay.
The guy from NFL Films. I mean,
Yeah.
we would be nothing without this guy, by the way. And Paul Tagliabue, NFL commissioner from 1989 to 2006. Speaking of commissioners, real quick, there was a harsh punishment that got brought down when we were on the air on Monday, but we haven't talked about it.
And then
you and
people
I
got fired.
And then they got fired. Yeah.
Yeah. And now what's going to happen with Alex Cora?
He got fired.
Oh, he got fired too?
They mutually went separate ways.
Okay. I didn't catch that this morning.
Yeah, that was this morning. Mutually. I was reading that during our 2 hour late start for school today.
Wow. Some people don't have school today, so if you're out there,
Davenport canceled.
Stager, if you're out there, you better be listening.
Some others canceled. Bettendorf did not. That's where my kids go to school. We had a 2 hour late start. They then, in turn, they canceled the early release. Every Wednesday, there's an early release in the Bettendorf Community School District.
There is. What for, Jay?
It's for staff development.
We've got. How's the staff not going to develop today?
We've got 2 years and plenty 2 years doing this, T-Roy, and raising kids together in schools, and we've got more relationship-wise besides 2 years with microphones in front of us. I've told you this time and time again as a former teacher, there's nothing going on during these staff development meetings. How can
What do teachers do during these meetings? They sit around in a room and just complain?
Yes. How can you just turn around and cancel staff development?
I don't know. The staff will
because
not get...
Because a 2 hour late start.
Well, now our staff is going to be underdeveloped.
That's exactly it.
This is BS.
It drives. Reading that is just. It's one of those things that you have to calm yourself down to be like, why do I care so much that they canceled a staff development meeting? Why do I care? It's because you know why that bothers me though.
Well, because
you have to change your entire Wednesday once a week as far as sitters go, or getting them from school, or making sure if they're latchkey, you're worried about an extra hour that they're going to be home alone. And now they just cancel it because, hey, it's 2 hour late start. It's not like the teachers went in an hour early to make up for it. That's what it's just that easy to cancel. They're not doing anything. Don't lie to me when I've been there and tell me it's staff development.
It seems to me like they're very underdeveloped.
Calm down, Jay. It's not a big deal. Don't bang this drum.
Mellow.
It's not a big deal. All right.
Mellow. All right.
Before we went to break,
you gave a question to the Quad Cities and me to answer.
Yes, that in 99 days from now, during the draft,
99 problems.
Joe
Burrows ain't
will
one.
likely become
Cincinnati Bengal.
the third player since the AFL NFL merger to A, win the Heisman Trophy, B, win the national title, and C, go number 1 in the overall draft. There were 2 other players that has happened since the AFL NFL merger, and both were drafted in this century.
All right.
Do you have a guess?
I have a guess. One I'm for sure I'm correct on. Jameis Winston.
You are correct on one. That's
one.
right. On your first guess.
My first
you
guess.
are correct. 2015, Jameis Winston.
Now, the other one, does it count if the Heisman got stripped from them? Are you counting that?
Yeah, he won the Heisman. I don't know. We can talk about that too.
Okay.
Being stripped and everything.
All right, because I think it's right now. It's between 2 people. I know it's not Deshaun Watson
Okay.
because he did not go number 1 overall.
There you go. You're right.
I don't think Carson Palmer won the national title or won the Heisman, but I can't remember.
He didn't win a national title.
He didn't. Did Reggie Bush win a national title?
Reggie Bush did win a national title, yeah.
And that's why I'm thinking it's Reggie Bush.
Maybe Carson Palmer was the quarterback then. Yeah, he did. But no, all right, go on. It's not either one of those 2, though.
All right, so then I have to say that it's Tim Tebow.
Heisman national title. He didn't go number 1 overall.
Mark Sanchez.
Not Mark Sanchez. It's Cam Newton.
Oh, duh.
2011.
I'm terrible. I should have known that.
Easer A's is saying that the Cora news that he separate ways was last night. All right. I had a lot of news going on yesterday.
Right, he's gone. We had a lot more important news than Joey Cora.
Yeah, well, let's talk about this real quick. The suspensions that are being handed down by the MLB, the fines, $5 million. They took away first and second round pick in 2020, 2021.
Are they doing the same thing with the Red Sox? We don't know yet. Cora's mentioned 11 times in this report. I don't know what they're going to do. So Cora's being fired by the Red Sox for just what he did in Houston?
Because it's coming down. I think, yeah.
But they think they were doing the same thing in Boston.
Yes. Because you have, now, the thing is, the suspension, they give him a year. Houston fired him. You have people, like, all over now that are saying, like, this is, it's not fair to Pete Rose. Pete Rose should be back into the Hall of Fame. He should be allowed in. These guys cheated. All Pete did was gamble on his own people. I talked to my father about it too yesterday, and I said, Dad, professional sports and MLB are not going to admit their own mistakes.
Right.
Meaning they're not going to forgive or say, like, yeah, we probably shouldn't have given a ban to Pete Rose. They're going to hold up. Giamatti, for some reason whatsoever, was pissed off about Pete Rose. And Faye Vincent followed him and said, like, he's mad at him. That's Giamatti's my guy. He's still suspended, and so forth and so forth.
Well, because Rose lied to his face.
To his face, thank you. That's what it was. And Giamatti said, like, you did.
Giamatti gave him a chance to come clean.
Yes. And it wasn't until much later that Pete Rose said, like, yeah, I did it. Much, much later. And it still came out worse. If you follow the whole story, it came out worse than more things that he did gamble on. They found out more later when people were diving into it, because you should be in it. Baseball is not going, just like baseball is not going to forgive the Black Sox. Right. They're just not going to admit that they were wrong. They're not going to admit, like, I know we live in a forgiving society, and that's great. I mean, look at A-Rod. He's a Sunday night baseball guy. Every ESPN, every single Sunday night, there's A-Rod. Yeah. All right? We live in a forgiving society, but they're just not going to. Now, what are they going to do to Cora? Are they going to give him the ban for life? I don't know. Do I think the whole idea of the suspension of the Astros is too lenient? Yes, 100%. $5 million? They're saving that, by the way, but what they would have to pay a first-round pick 2 years and a second-round pick 2 years. They're saving money. Like, T-Roy, I know you.
I know. I'm just.
It hurts him in the long run. And we had Joe in the new general manager of the Quad City River Ranch yesterday, and he has a good point. Well, those first-round picks are also put butts in seats because they want to see these people.
Yeah.
At a single A, we have them here. I mean, we've had other people. We've had Carlos Correa. We've had Altuve in there. But these players, they're not getting suspended. They're not getting any trouble because Manfred said, he goes, wow, He said it's just too hard. They're on different teams now. My question is this to you.
All right.
Do you want Mike Fires on your team? Mike Fires on your team? He's the one that came out and said he currently is on the Oakland A's roster. He's the one that was a pitcher for the Houston Astros during the 2017 season. He's the one that was the whistleblower and said they were stealing signs. They were banging on garbage cans. Do you want Mike Fires on your team? Now, O.J. Simpson, for whatever reason, was on Twitter today and said, this has been happening forever. I played golf with Mickey Mantle. I did this with Hank Greenberg. Baseball's been doing this forever. This is nothing new. I'm just saying, hey, Twitter world, it was dumb. I don't need his input on it. I really don't. As you guys know how much I enjoy O.J. Simpson and what a train wreck of a human being I think he is. But I did not need this from him to be like, baseball's been doing this forever. I played golf with Mickey Mantle. When he would get with his boys, they'd talk about how they do it. We know that they steal signs, but there's also an unwritten rule. You don't go ahead and talk about another clubhouse and do that. Retire, write a book, do whatever you want to do, but not while you're still active. I don't want him. I would not want him on the Minnesota Twins. And that sucks. I know that sounds awful. It sounds awful to be like, they were cheating. He pointed it out. Why don't you want him on your team? I just don't want that clubhouse guy. He's not a clubhouse guy.
Well, it seems to me like...
You Google him, it comes up now, baseball. You Google his name, and the first thing that comes up, as you're typing it out, will be stealing signs. Mike Fires stealing signs.
Huh.
So...
he definitely. I mean, what else is he going to tell? I mean, if you're breaking the rules, you're going to be like, hey, well, we shouldn't have these guys around. But I mean, does he go and tell your secrets when he joins another clubhouse? When, hey, this is what they do to do this. I mean, I guess. I don't know. Get back to me on that one.
Okay.
It doesn't bother me so much. Maybe it bothered him. He won a ring.
Yeah, right. I just say like that. User is saying the Black Sox are no longer on the ineligible list. Okay, they're still not voting them in. Great, they got off the ineligible list. Baseball's still not forgiving them. Tell you what, they may have put them on a list. MLB is still looking at different people saying like, don't vote them in. They're not going to admit any type of fault, and they wouldn't not in the NFL, not in NBA or anything like that. All right, we got to unpack this real quick. We got to talk about yesterday.
Yeah.
It's a little. This is going to be a little bit of a curve from sports talk, but it's going to be talking about radio and local radio. So deal with it, what you will. Yesterday, iHeartRadio let go of thousands of people, and that includes sports talk people that you may drive through town listening to at KXNO in Des Moines and multiple other places. But it also affected people here in the Quad Cities.
Correct.
And our friends. And where do you start with this? That a corporation doesn't care about local radio anymore?
Well, Jay, it goes to this, okay, and you can get into the conspiracy part of it, which I'll delve into a little bit. But what it boils down to is, back in the mid '90s, from what one of our friends that lost a job told me, they changed the law on how some of these radio things can go. So these large conglomerates can buy multiple radio stations. Okay. And what's happened? iHeart actually, they've developed a brand, and what they're trying to do is to streamline it so that they make more money. Okay. No, keep pouring out. Sounds great. So they're trying to streamline it so that they make more money. Okay. And what they're doing is they're basically telling you, the consumer, we don't think you care too much about local things. Even though right now the drive around everywhere is buy local, eat local, be local. Okay?
Okay.
So they fire these local guys with the hope that they'll bring in some regional something that they get recorded in either Minneapolis, Chicago, or St. Louis.
Seattle.
Whatever.
Yeah.
They'll pipe that into your ears on the stations that you maybe were listening to, maybe not. And hope that you just get over the fact that your long lost love for who is gone now, who actually may live around the corner from you, is no longer on the air, and that you'll forget about it. And what I tell you, and I want to say to the advertisers that are on those stations, because those are local places. iHeartMedia just gave you a big two middle fingers right in your face. They don't care about your advertising dollar, otherwise they wouldn't have pulled the people they pulled.
Mm-hmm.
You got choices what to do with your money, and you, the listeners, have choices what to do with your ears. Now, the other thing, the conspiracy theory of it is, all Jay, think of it like this. Maybe they want you to think the way people think in Chicago, here in the Quad Cities, or in Des Moines. Maybe they want the whole region to think the same way, so they have the same people processing you the same message to anything iHeart does. That's a little bit of a stretch, but think about it. In that manner, if they're trying to spread an agenda, how much easier is it when you control the voices that people are hearing? You see what I'm saying?
Rewind that back to me one more time, because I apologize. Okay, you're saying that they're control. Say that again.
Instead of us in the Quad Cities having our people tell us things that are happening, which was great. All right, now we're just having someone from Chicago tell us things. Okay, so we're not necessarily hearing about things that happen in the Quad Cities. That opinion, we're getting the Chicago opinion. Okay.
Yes.
Which things that happen in Chicago are completely different than what happens here.
Okay.
Things that affect Chicago do not affect here. The weather's not the same. All these things. But if it's a group think tank, well, let's just say as it comes to politics per se, if they want you all to be getting the same message, it's easier to send out the same message if you have control of one set of voices that then covers the entire region. When I say region, we're talking if they canceled all these shows between St. Louis to Minneapolis, now you're getting one voice. And it's and it's things you hear that are influential. Much like you said, when your daughter heard that Trump was impeached, she thought that Tom Steyer was going to be president.
Yeah.
Because she sees his commercials on the TV all the time.
Yeah.
It affects young minds. I mean, us as adults can look at it and go, Tom Steyer's not going anywhere with that belt. All right? Yeah. But, hey.
Yeah.
Or stickers on his jacket.
The problem
but
overall.
You follow.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. So, I'm with you.
But and that's a whole conspiracy thing that I'm not even ready to go down.
I don't even know if it's a conspiracy, because it takes me down so many paths, and we can talk about this overall. But we can tell you guys our entire story, how we had to do this, and why we believe in local and what we did. And I still say to this day, there is not a show, and right now I'm telling you, there is not a show based in the Quad Cities that champions local more than us. I'll go toe-to-toe with anybody. I don't care how many times you've been on the air. I don't care what your Nielsen numbers are. I don't care where your studio is located. Nobody champions local more than us. And we are the ones that are not sitting there. We're not sitting there saying, like, ooh, can't wait for Giordano's to come here to the Quad Cities. Wouldn't that be great? We didn't turn around and do backflips over Portillo's coming into town. We just said, hey, Portillo's coming. We don't sit there and go crazy about a Five Guys burger place coming in. But what we do is we say, hey, there's a local place. It's important to us. We want you guys to go there. And that's where sponsorship comes in and whatever else. But you can't have it both ways. I was talking to Klinger about this. It's a virtual signaling where all of a sudden something goes away and then everyone goes, man, I'm going to go there. Our place on Locust Street, Cafe Express.
Yeah.
Someone makes a post on Facebook. They're in trouble. And people go there, and they go there for 3 days. Are they going there 13 days later?
Yeah, they are, actually.
Good. That makes me so happy.
They were so packed the other day, Jay, I thought I was going to have to take my food and eat it to go. And then at the last second, somebody got up right when my food was getting done.
But
So, yeah, but good for them. But no, it goes to that. Listen, it was a middle finger to the people that did hard work for them. The talent, by the way, that was let go is beyond me. I mean, at KXNO, at whatever, you know what I'm saying.
Des Moines deserves local radios, just like we had. The local sports should be. I mean, that's.
But you
can't have that type of population and not have local. It's mind blowing.
Just out there, just think about this. If you own a local business, if you're advertising, whether you're a law firm, whether you're a mechanic, whatever it is your business, think about it now. Think about what's just happened. You know, they've basically just told you we do not care. You know, and right now, Jay, we're one of 3 local shows.
One of 3.
That
3.
Talk. One of 3 local talk shows. I urge you to listen to all of them. Keep them all alive. Keep anything local alive.
It's so
that are on the radio. Those are three shows on. There is other shows that are podcast form.
Oh yeah,
and I urge you to listen to that as well. Yes.
We wouldn't be anywhere without podcasts, and we support any type of podcasts that are out there locally. And again, we'd love to have anybody on that wants to come and support their podcast to tell people about it, because we want this to happen. We believe in this, in the talk of it. I've always said, it was funny, we had Joe in yesterday, the new GM of the River Bandits, and he's like, I'm from Rockford, Freeport area, whatever else, and I said, I thank you so much for not saying you're from Chicago. And he's like, I wouldn't do that. But it's the thing with a lot of times, media, as much as local media that is here, news, print, radio, as much as we want to bang the drum of local, they'll still be the type that will run stories that will say, hey, we're like little Chicago. And guess what? We're not. We're the Quad Cities.
Yeah.
And it's fine to
be that way. We
have
have our own style pizza.
We do. We have our own style pizza that's actually been up in Chicago. But just because if it's a slow news day doesn't mean we need to rehash that there might be, at one point, a train that's going to run from Moline to Chicago to get us there within 2 hours. You can imagine all the things you can do. You can go shopping, and you can go to a game, and you can go see a movie in Chicago in 2 hours.
You can buy $7.50 cans of beer.
You can do the exact same thing here.
No. Well,
no, I'm just saying you can go shopping here.
The
at
beer's a lot cheaper here.
You can catch a game at we all say is a great ballpark at Mata Woodman Park to see the future players. We can go to the Storm, and everyone that goes to a Storm game walks away saying this is awesome here. You can go to a comedy show here, and people say no one walks away from a comedy show that Schlichting or Bobby Ray Bunch does. No one walks away and goes, man, that was a waste of time. They all go, that was awesome. Can't wait to go back again. The media needs to stop telling everybody that you need to support us, our local businesses, okay, T-Roy? But then turn around and say, we need the Five Guys in here. We need these other franchises come here. You don't. We've got awesome places. Yeah. We can run right now. On Facebook, we can say, top 5 places for wings right now. And people are going to give us 25. And out of the 25, I would maybe guess one would be a franchise, maybe. And I don't know which one it would be. It definitely wouldn't be Buffalo Wild Wings.
God, I hope not.
But do you know what I'm saying? And then you even have some places that are locally owned franchises.
You're gonna start naming,
if you look at Famous Dave's, that's on Kimberly, that is locally owned. Although it's a franchise, that is still a locally owned business, people that are here. And those businesses need to put money into local things like this, media, the news, or whatever else. They can't sit there and say, great, guys, you made a post on Facebook, and it organically reached 591 people, and you didn't have to spend a single dollar boosting it. And you can, in bold or all caps, right, we are locally owned. It still doesn't do that much for you. You got to get out and work more than just Facebook. Yeah. Yet what happened yesterday was awful. And we lost friends and people that got us doing what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
And they don't deserve it. And it's still to this day when I'm going to make 3 phone calls after this show. And it's all by local places that I'm going to say it's a show that you should be supporting, and you should be on our show telling your story and talking about your business. And those 3 calls I make, T-Roy, are all going to go to voicemail. And there won't be a call back. Because there's the idea of return of investment. And we know this as local business owners. Return on investment is a key. Someone comes to you and says, Oscars, I want you to do the X, Y, and Z. Pay this, and here's what we're going to do. You're still going to go, am I going to get that many people in the door?
Right.
And I get it. But you can only do so much. They need to also, one, if they're on our show, you need to share the Facebook post that you're on. You need to go on social media and be like, I'm going to be on the show. Yeah. And you need to tell your story. And it's crazy to me. It's crazy that to sit in front of someone with the enthusiasm that you and I have for this show, for this area, for the sports in this area in Eastern Iowa, Western Illinois, the kids that in high school, the college kids, the people that go on, the people that we have on, the passion, and people look at the passion and everything else and they go, I don't know, return on investment, but they don't do anything about it. And I'm calling out even a big sponsor of our own. I mean, the casinos. I look at them. I go, you need to get your word out there that they can go in and they can sit at Draft Day Lounge or Kellerman's, and they need to be that. All right. We need to stop with the Field of Dreams mentality if we're just going to build it. The same thing with TBK. We're just going to build it. They're going to be there. Have you started a single business with the mentality that you're just going to unlock the doors?
No.
T-Ray?
No. It doesn't work like that.
Yes. No.
It just doesn't. No. And you're right. And it's frustrating and it scares you too at the same time. I mean, do you wonder, do they pull the plug on us ever? You know what I'm saying? Does it happen?
And
I mean, does somebody in New York City make a decision that, hey, well, there's an end to this?
Any day.
Right?
Any day someone could say, like, well, I don't understand what's going on at this radio station, that these guys have a show, that they are independent contractors, that they have sponsors of. Why are they on our airwaves? And we could be gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's someone that never sat down with us, shook hands, or anything like that.
Right.
But it's a thing, like, you've got to dial in, you've got to be on social media, you've got to pay attention, you got to listen. There was more comments that blew my mind over the guys down the hall, Dwyer Michaels, when they made a post. And someone said, man, that sucked. I really enjoyed listening to those guys in the morning. And they were talking about Dwyer Michaels, who are Town Square, not iHeartMedia, and replying to someone who is actually the host, but his personal post saying, "I really enjoyed that. Sucks. I really enjoyed." You didn't read the post that he did. You don't listen to him. You don't even know who you're commenting on. You're just making comments. I don't know why. Like, to me, it's just like, this is incredible that you didn't read this entire post. Town Square is not iHeart and vice versa.
Right.
It didn't happen here. It didn't purge here on Brady Street. The Rock and Roll Mansion is fine. What iHeart did was awful. And they've taken away the voice of the Quad Cities, and they did it 2 weeks before the Iowa caucus. It was 0 sense to me. 0 whatsoever. When you have WOC. You're trying to tell me that money is not being piped into there?
Oh, yeah.
So, it sucks. I don't have 20 years in the business. Neither does T-Roy. We've maybe got, heck, do we even have 20 months? You know?
We're getting close.
But we see things. And there's people out there.
I mean, anything is ran a certain way. And if you treat people like a number, eventually you'll get treated like a number yourself. And so I'm just saying this, you know, for those of you out there that decide to download iHeartMedia to your phones, I urge you to delete it. Mm-hmm. I urge you then to go on and try your best to listen local. I know it's tough sometimes, whether you can get a signal through or whatever else, but do your best. You know, that's all I'm saying. And just and remember, you know, the people that have done this a lot longer than us lost their jobs yesterday with zero idea that it was coming.
Mm-mm.
So
You
just
said it was a company
anybody out
dislocation.
there listening right now, yeah, company dislocation. That's like, it's not a shoulder or an elbow. It's a job. It's a life. You just dislocated so easily. Thank you. But think about that. Anybody that's at work right now, just think about if at about 3 o'clock they just came down and said, "Hey, by the way, Anderson, yeah, go home. Don't come back.
Mm-hmm.
You're dislocated."
Before we go to break, I have to make my apology. There was someone who knows the radio industry well, and he owns a business, and I urge you guys to go to Billy Bob's in the district, and the man's name is Chris Michaels, and he was posting a lot about the people being let go. I made a post back to him, and I said, you can't do this. You can't champion one and then only pick what radio to listen to. And he said, well, I don't understand your post. And I said, well, you know, I don't really see that you are, you know, not even to like our show, Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. He's been on the show, all right? He was on his podcast forum and everything, and he said something more of like, well, you haven't liked ours. I said, well, I didn't make the post. And then finally I said, message me. We're not doing this on Facebook because that's not me, all right? I'm not going back and forth. If you make a post, political, religion, whatever else, I don't care. I'm not going back and forth. I've erased more than I've ever posted on this situation. I'm not going to get into it. And we went back and forth, and he said, I like over 700 things, you know. And I said, I have no problem saying when I'm wrong. I have no problem just saying, you know what, I was wrong. And I said to him, I'll make it a thing on the air. And I think you and I talked about it too. You know, you got to walk the walk. I will take time this afternoon, and I will go and like, because it's seconds. It's a click and like local pages. that I never did because it was always like, it's not a big deal. They don't care about me. But it is a big deal. And it means more now because somebody's watching, either somebody that's either going to, if you go to promote whatever page, it doesn't, a business or even a local show, to say like, I have this many likes, ears are going to perk up. Oh, you do. So I'm going to do local. Doesn't matter if I ideology or philosophically don't believe in you, or if in the past we have had a relationship that is severed. I'm going to like your business today because it needs to be done. And I'm going to do it on Facebook because it needs to be. I may not like you. You may not like me. But I'm going out there and I'm telling you, if you're listening, it's not anybody out there. It's not, he endorses. It just needs to be done. The numbers. I'm just a number. I'm nobody.
Right.
And the number needs to be liked. And I need to apologize to Chris for saying that, you can't champion one and not the other. And so that is my apology to him. And I told him I'd do it on the air. And it wasn't like he's like, good, do it. He it's not a big deal. And it isn't. But I feel like I need to get that off.
Right.
Because I can't sit here and talk about local and how it needs to be supported and get angry about places that just, roll their eyes and be like, oh, radio, but radio's dead. Folks, we're here trying to resuscitate media for you.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, MTV's dead. Radio's not.
Radio's not dead.
When Jay's watching stupid challenge and whatever things.
That's it, and I'm sure we'll come back briefly, but we took a lot of time talking to you guys about this, and it doesn't have to be but it weighed heavily on me, and I know T-Roy did you as well, because of the friends that we have.
You sent me the text,
and it has to be said we're local, and yes, we need to do main things about sports, but folks, have pride in the Quad Cities. And local businesses, you've got to get out there and promote yourself to local places. And you have a forum. Yeah. And I don't even care if you don't want to spend a single dime on this show. You can come and tell your story, because we love meeting new people. We love local business owners. And we've pushed different businesses all over on both sides of the river in the Quad Cities.
And then think about what I was doing yesterday, why I wasn't here.
Yes.
Spending money with local business.
That's right.
My friends from Entertainment Expressions, Jess and Jeff there, I'll tell you what, man. They match the big box prices and everything. It's great.
This is not a soapbox situation.
Yeah, I know,
all,
but
folks.
that's what I'm saying. That's the thing. That's me saying I'm not spending my money at Best Buy, because when I walk into Best Buy and I ask the kid that works there, hey, what's this speaker do? Or what? I don't know. But when I go to Entertainment Expressions, I get a recommendation from somebody that truly is passionate about the speakers and what I'm going to be putting in my house, and giving me his best recommendation of what he thinks is going to sound good. Mm-hmm. And it means something. It really does. Which brings us right to this, Jay.
All right.
Speaking of local.
Yes.
Locals love us,
There's
Bird.
another one.
There you go. Quad Cities, you stop going to those social media sites asking everybody, where do you get your oil change? Who does the best tattoo work? Or where are you going to grab some lunch? Just pick up that Locals Love Us guide. It has an easy-to-navigate table of contents to help you find what you're looking for. Or you can go to localsloveus.com. Click on Quad Cities and browse your favorites. It's easy to use, and they even rank the most popular places for you. So we urge you to check out Locals Love Us and our friend Chopper. They are your guide to the best.
This is Merrick Brave from SCW Pro, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local,
ESPN 1170 AM.
Score a touchdown on your next new or used purchase at Sexton Ford. With a huge selection of new Ford cars and trucks, you'll feel like you've entered the big game each and every time. You'll be treated like a pro player, from sales to service, auto body to parts. Sexton also has a strong bench of mildly used vehicles too. Why wait? The game's on at Sexton Ford in Moline.
Oh yeah, Sexton Ford is the talk of the town.
It's putt around time. Get your foursome together for the 15th annual Big Brothers Big Sisters Putt Around. Over 20 custom-built holes transform the River Center into the most innovative mini golf course ever. Only $30 per person and great for any skill level. Register at puttaround.org before January 17th to be entered into a Quad City staycation giveaway. The 15th annual Big Brothers Big Sister Putt Around, sponsored by Wells Fargo and the Quad City Area Realtors, January 29th through the 31st at the River Center in Davenport. Sign up today.
From local to global, ESPN 1170 has you covered. Your Quad City Sports Show is here for you. Don't hassle us. We're local with your favorite foursome, T-Roy, Jay-Bird, Surge, and you. Weekdays noon to 2 on the Quad City Sports Leader. ESPN 1170 AM wants you to be an insider. Get access to great contests at ESPN1170am.com. Brought to you by Necker's Jewelers, where the Quad Cities gets engaged. From the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Dust off your thinking caps, grab your best buds, and attend St. Ambrose Alumni Trivia Night. Saturday, January 18th, the Rogalski Center Ballroom will be flooded with knowledge. Will you sink or swim? All proceeds benefit the St. Ambrose Alumni Association and the St. Ambrose Children's Campus. Join the St. Ambrose Alumni Association for a trivia night, Saturday, January 18th at 7 p.m. Mulligans and doublers are available for purchase at the door. Reserve your table online at sau.edu/alumni for SAU Alumni Trivia Night.
The Circle Tap in Davenport is your place to catch the big game on February 2nd. Watch the championship game on one of their 16 flat-screen TVs or relax on the heated patio. Enjoy $2 domestic cans, $7 big-ass Bloody Marys, and cash giveaways every quarter. Plus, one lucky winner will walk away with $100 at the end of the game. Soak up your booze with $6 pulled pork sandwiches and fries, or grab a rack of Circle Tap's world-famous ribs. Enjoy great food, great drinks, and great friends during the big game at the Circle Tap, West Locust Street, Davenport.
Back by popular demand, Gobo Productions presents One Night of Queen. Since forming in 2002, Gary Mullen and the Works have performed to sell-out audiences all over the world. And now they're back in the USA for a brand new tour. One Night of Queen is a spectacular live concert recreating the look, sound, and showmanship of arguably the greatest rock band of all time. You'll hear classic Queen numbers including We Will Rock You, Fat Bottom Girls, Another One Bites the Dust, Bohemian Rhapsody, and We Are the Champions. One Night of Queen, performed by Gary Mullen and the Works. This show will rock you.
Coming to the TaxSlayer Center March 18th. Tickets are on sale now at the TaxSlayer Center box office and Ticketmaster.com. Presented by Town Square Media.
The Quad City Sports Leader is always in the palm of your hands. Download the ESPN 1170 app today and never miss a thing. From the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
All right, we're back here in the Hassle Castle, brought to you by Dunright Satellite and Dish, and this is Don't Hassle Us, we're local on AM 1170. You know, speaking of local podcasts, Jay, you did our thing with Two Broker Gals on
They did a
Monday.
great job. Yep.
How did it go?
Sandy and Aaron, they did a great job. Let's see, Two Broker Girls. It'll be Mondays. It's on at 2:30. They have their own Facebook channel, Facebook Live. And the podcast went out on Anchor. We're just getting the RSS feed up into the iTunes. They had over 1,000 views. It's going to be really interesting. It's fun to be behind the scenes. They actually started the show and kind of told everyone what they're doing, and then maybe about 10 minutes into it, we started the podcast. So the Facebook Live is really a lot of behind the scenes. You get to see a podcast go from episode 1 and how these girls get comfortable in front of a camera and a microphone, and the two of them, and they have a good relationship. And it's a different type of thing. You may think like it's more geared towards the brokers that are out there, the agents, and they'll learn more, like what they've learned, mistakes they've done on the way, and they'll have people that come on that are lenders and contractors, builders. They'll have
there you go, yeah.
And it's fun to be part. It's, for us, when we did this, we started on our own. We always tell everybody, from a kitchen table to a bar top to we've been in a garage to and everything.
Kitchen table to a garage to a bar.
Yeah, and to figure out how to do it and to run everything in here and to make it that we could, from using an iPhone, that we wanted to have phone calls. We wanted people to hear the music that was coming in. We did that all on our own. We were on a first name basis with the guys at Guitar Center and being there 3 times a day, running back and forth. So it's fun, and to take away those struggles for them, it's kind of like what they're doing with agents and contractors, talking about some of the mistakes they made.
Remember that American flag microphone I wanted to buy? Good thing I didn't waste that money.
I get to help them, and we get to help them and talk to them and say, like, hey, do this. And so they do it in studio, and I think the only thing they need to do differently maybe is like put like a curtain behind them, whatever else. They don't need all the nonsense that we have back here.
Oh, they gotta love that.
Yeah. But they
we'll figure it out.
So yeah, we're done talking about that. Iowa won their basketball game last night, so that was a tough one. It's not easy to win on the road. Iowa will play Michigan on Friday night.
They were at Northwestern last night?
They were at Northwestern, yes. So
and what was the final score, Jay?
Final score 72-65, or vice versa. I just had it up. I had it on in the background.
Well, Cakert's coming on later, so we'll talk about it with Cake.
75-62. So they went after it. It's good to see C.J. Frederick out there and everything. Couple things we need to point out about today. Happy birthday to basketball, I guess.
Yay.
January 15th, 1892, the first rules of basketball were published. James Naismith published the original rules of basketball in Triangle Magazine, a monthly journal published by Springfield College, where Naismith was a graduate student and instructor. So it said, we present to our readers a new game of ball, which seems to have those elements in it which ought to make it popular among the associations. Any number of men may play it, and each one get plenty of exercise. At the same time, it calls for physical judgment and coordination of every muscle, and combines skill with courage and agility so that the better team wins. So congratulations to Naismith and basketball for the first rules being published today. And the other thing, NFL is kind of worried about the attendance.
At the Super Bowl?
In general. In 2019, teams averaged 66,648 attendance per game, the lowest in 15 years. So it's down. Much like have you ever been to Disney World, Disneyland?
Disneyland when I was a little kid.
Okay, they say that they have
Disneyland.
more. They had
Disneyland.
By the way, that's a movie that doesn't get enough respect. Bulletproof is a good movie.
By the way, he got snubbed.
He did for the Oscars, and he was good. He was good about it.
Are you kidding me?
Said Sandman doesn't have to wear suits anymore. They say there's more employees wearing street clothes than there are wearing your Disney outfits, because they're always watching. They're picking up trash or whatever else, and they're learning from basically being secret shoppers. They're learning from what your input is, what people are saying. And, I mean, if you go there, it is immaculate. There is not trash anywhere. And I think also and they have eyes in the sky everywhere. I think the average time for a lost kid is 90 seconds. Okay. That's how quick they get them. But NFL's doing the same thing. NFL is they're putting league employees are hidden in the crowd, tracking everything that happens. So the goal is to better understand and enhance the fan experience, keep people interested in attending live games. So there was a guy in Sportsbook Journal, Ben Fisher. He shadowed two of these secret shoppers, and he observed and reported on every aspect of the stadium and off-field operations, from concessions into what's playing on the Jumbotron. So they're listening to the fans and their experience of it, because they're trying to get more people in there. Like I said, the attendance is lower than it has been in 15 years. And I don't know why that would be.
And I think that's overall, and I'll give you my breakdown of this, and I can tell you exactly why.
Okay.
All right. Why is attendance lower than it's been in 15 years? And this is an overall league average, right?
Yes.
All right. Overall league average. Well, you just pulled a team away from San Diego, who now doesn't pull any fans where they're at. Okay. So that did that. You keep having these games out of country. I can't imagine they're counting those games.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I mean, think about it. The Raiders. They're going to be moving. So you probably had fans upset that they're moving, period.
Yeah.
Okay? It's down. Those two things alone will take you down.
Those things will take you down.
All right.
Prices, there's other things.
Prices.
Yeah.
Another thing, people don't like to think about it. Handle this very badly with the Colin Kaepernick knee thing.
Okay, very true.
All right? Whether you agree with it or not, half of America was offended.
Yes.
Okay? And of that half of America, they're football fans too.
Yeah,
you handled it poorly, NFL. I'm sorry you did.
That's a fair point.
So there you have it. I mean, those are your 3 reasons. I'll give them to you.
Ticket prices, where we can look at Atlanta and then how they have fair ticket prices. Parking out at it's a lot. As far as if your experience to go to a Dallas Cowboys game is expensive, like parking all the way up to like even getting a pizza.
I mean, I've never gone. I want to go someday, but I'll settle with going to Green Bay. It was great.
High definition 4K TV, the ticket, everything else is another.
By the way,
aspect.
the ticket is another ripoff. Sunday ticket's a ripoff. It's a ripoff to the bars that have to pay for it. It is one of the biggest ripoffs ever.
Okay.
$700 a month for 5 months.
And you have to have DirecTV to have it.
Yes.
It is ridiculous. And yes, I agree with you.
It's a ripoff.
And
that's if you have 100 seats or less. 99 seats or less.
Yes.
I can't imagine what a place like Sports Fans is paying.
Yeah.
Because they have to have more than 100 seats.
Yes. And you have to have it.
You have to have it.
To survive Sunday business for 17 to 18 weeks and plus playoffs.
Yeah.
You have to have it. It is a monopoly at its finest.
It is the worst.
But with the Sunday ticket, Red Zone, you can watch it on your phone, whatnot. That's another thing that's down since 15 years. Yeah, and I can remember when HD came out, and I probably didn't have an HD TV for probably like 3 or 4 years after it came out.
If you think about the profit you make at between Harrington's and Pines, the profit you make on a Sunday from the football, and you add it up for those 5 months, that just took away your profit. I guarantee it. I almost guarantee it.
Say that again. So you're saying if you take 4 Sundays, let's just average 4 Sundays, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You're thinking that you're thinking that you're only making $175 extra
profit after it's all said and done. After you've paid for the electricity, after you paid for the bartenders, after you paid for the product that you sold.
Mm-hmm. So 175.
If you factor
profit.
every cost that you would have to factor that into one day,
yeah,
I think it's a wash.
But you have to have it.
But you have to have it, otherwise, then you do nothing.
Yeah, you can't carry just the CBS box and all that other stuff.
Right.
No, but it's gonna come up.
And
for
if you do make
sale.
money, it's not a lot.
It's gonna come up for sale here soon. For a bid, someone's gonna get it, and it's gonna get weird. It's seriously. Let's say like the DAZN, the DAZN app gets it. All right, they buy it. Now all of a sudden you have to have a smart TV that has the app on it. All right, it's not a channel right now. It's gonna get wonky. It's gonna be another thing where you're gonna have to be on the forefront, scrambling, because you don't want to be that bar that people go to on a Sunday and go, "Well, you don't have this," kind of like when the Cubs dropped off of WGN, Comcast, and it was on WGN, and WGN was only on 8.3, and we got an antenna before the smart TVs actually had a built-in antenna. Yeah. I mean, we paid to put an antenna on top of Pints and run it down there, and we were on top of it. We knew ahead of time. We're like, hey, it's going to happen. And plenty of bars were like, we don't have the Cub game. What's going on? We said, we do. We anticipated the problem. The same thing might happen coming up here with the NFL. That's that's certainly goofy. All right, let's take our first break of the hour. We come back. Kakert will be on, and we'll talk a little bit about Iowa football. AJ announced it going in there. Wirfs is going into the draft. Epi did, yeah.
Epi did? Okay.
And we got Iowa basketball to talk about, and him and him get to talk about what's going on at our post-media conferences when we're there. All kinds of fun stuff.
All right, pizza lovers, I'm going to tell you what, if you haven't had a Vans Pizza from Vans Pizza and more, you're missing out. They just opened up near the Plex at the corners of middle of Forest Groves Roads in Bettendorf. Outstanding daily specials on the Vans Pizza I know you're going to love. Today is Wednesday, Jay. So it's $1 off their famous wings and the baked pastas. All you're going to have to do is call 563.
Speaking of top 5 wings.
Oh, yeah, it's
Yes,
in there.
it's in there.
232-1396. And Vance Pizza Roll have that
You can
ready.
at me on that one, T-Roy.
Have it hot and ready for you, Bird. Or you can have it delivered if you live in Bettendorf. Jay, you are within the delivery radius. Once again, that number is 563-232-1396. Vance Pizza and More, 5023 Competition Drive in Bettendorf.
Announcer for the Quad City Storm, and you're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
Isn't technology great? Everything at your fingertips. But sometimes when you want something custom, you need to talk with an actual person. QC Press has been in the area for over 45 years. They can custom design t-shirts for your family reunion, banners for your anniversary party, or letterhead for your small business. Don't leave your special event up to some design shop on the internet. Check out QCPress.com or stop by and see them at 1325 15th Street, Moline. QC Press. 309-764-8142. What do you need printed today? Back by popular demand. Gobo Productions presents One Night of Queen. Since forming in 2002, Gary Mullen and the Works have performed to sellout audiences all over the world. And now they're back in the USA for a brand new tour. One Night of Queen is a spectacular live concert recreating the look, sound, and showmanship of arguably the greatest rock band of all time. You'll hear classic Queen numbers including We Will Rock You, Fat Bottom Girls, Another One Bites the Dust, Bohemian Rhapsody, and We Are the Champions. One Night of Queen, performed by Gary Mullen and the Works. This show will rock you.
Coming to the TextLayer Center March 18th. Tickets are on sale now at the TextLayer Center box office and Ticketmaster.com. Presented by Town Square Media.
At Crawford Company, we specialize in plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. Sports, on the other hand...
Hey, Crawford guy, go long!
No, I can't!
Here comes the pitch to Crawford guy. Strike 3.
Come on, Crawford guy, take the shot.
Sports may not be our specialty, but home comfort is. Crawford Company, plumbing and drain cleaning, heating and air conditioning.
Dust off your thinking caps, grab your best buds, and attend St. Ambrose Alumni Trivia Night. Saturday, January 18th, the Rogulski Center Ballroom will be flooded with knowledge. Will you sink or swim? All proceeds benefit the St. Ambrose Alumni Association and the St. Ambrose Children's Campus. Join the St. Ambrose Alumni Association for a trivia night, Saturday, January 18th at 7 p.m. Mulligans and doublers are available for purchase at the door. Reserve your table online at sau.edu/alumni for SAU Alumni Trivia Night.
The new year keeps rolling along at Augustana College. The winter sports teams are in the midst of tough CCIW schedules. Men's basketball returns to the Carver Center on Wednesday the 15th with a home game with Wheaton. Tip-off is at 7. There's more to follow. Shortly, men's volleyball hits the Carver Center hardwood. But don't forget about wrestling, swimming and diving, indoor track and field, women's basketball and bowling. For more game information, visit augustana.edu. Augustana College, a family-friendly front row seat to big-time small college sports.
January is National Mentoring Month, and at Big Brothers Big Sisters, one youth, one mentor, plus one moment can unlock limitless potential. When you sign up to become a mentor with Big Brothers Big Sisters, you are matched 1-to-1 with a child in our community, a child with big potential. 250 children are waiting. Be there for one of them. Go to bbbsmv.org to find out more about becoming a big.
From the Sheedy Family Chiropractic Studios, this is the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM, KBOB, Davenport.
All right, buddy, the Hasslers are back here in the Hasslecast. Where's my bobbers at? AM 1170 K-Bob.
The latest Super Bowl odds are out. Chiefs are at plus 140, 49ers at plus 150, Packers at plus 600, Titans at plus 600. Basically what that is that put up $100.
They think it's going to be Chiefs Packers.
Yeah. Chiefs 49ers.
Or Niners, yeah.
Yeah, to win the Super Bowl, though. That's just to win it. For it to have exact outcome odds, like Chiefs to defeat the 49ers, it's plus 200. So you put up 100, you win 200. 49ers to defeat the Chiefs is plus 220. 49ers to defeat the Titans is plus 600. Chiefs to defeat the Packers, it's plus 700. These are exact odds that are coming out there. Packers to defeat the Chiefs plus 900. Titans to defeat the 49ers plus 1,200. I know you guys are tired of me saying this, but I got two more. Packers defeat the Titans plus 1,800. And the Titans to defeat the Packers at plus 3,000. That being said, I've thought about this, T-Roy.
Yes, sir.
I'm not on this isn't a bandwagon or anything. I just feel like we might be watching something that's different. And I think the Titans are actually going to go to the Super Bowl.
I do, too.
Do you?
Yeah, I picked the Chiefs at the beginning of the playoffs because I thought, but this thing going on with Tennessee is just incredible.
It's Derrick Henry. I mean, they can get up, and then all they have to do is still give him the ball. He doesn't care. Like he just, what is it? 32 carries, 180 rushing yards for 3 straight times, first time in NFL history. You're asking Tannehill to not do too much. I keep saying they don't have a quarterback on contract next year. They don't. But they can franchise tag Tannehill. They can offer him something he can say, I don't want that, and they can franchise him. So they have their quarterback if they want one.
They got talent. They have talent. Those receivers are talented. A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown might get Rookie of the Year now, Jay.
It's just one of those things that I'm just like, you know what? We're going to look back on the year and just go.
They have a great O-line.
Okay, it's you're going to say, what team won the Super Bowl that year? Like the year that the Ravens won it in like 2003. Like
I mean, the only thing that's gonna that keeps you from thinking that it's really gonna happen is Mahomes is that good. Like Mahomes is that sneaky good. Little flick of the wrist,
he is too.
Sidearm. Oh, I got you. Oh, I'm scrambling.
And that's the other thing that
He's
bothers
healthy.
me. I don't. I tell you this. I'm not.
But they just shut down Lamar, so it's.
I'm not a huge city of Kansas City fan, so to me, it's like the Chiefs. I'm like, eh. But it also just bothers me to think that the Kansas City Chiefs fan the entire time when everyone's just like, oh, it's the season of Lamar, the entire time Kansas Chiefs like, all right, whatever. We got Patrick Mahomes, and it's true because last year what he was doing in record books, and you're just like, geez, this is the future of the NFL.
Yeah.
And then Lamar comes in and does that, and Kansas City Chiefs fan the entire time was like, oh, that's cool. You guys can like it, whatever else. We're just gonna go to the AFC Championship. But I just think it's gonna be one of those years that you look back, and in 5 years it'll be like a trivia and be like, who won the Super Bowl in the 2019 season, 2020 Super Bowl? I don't know.
Titans.
You're gonna Titans. Oh yeah, that's right.
It's like that weird magical run, like the Riggins year.
And right now, they are my favorite to not make the playoffs next year. They're going to be your. I'm serious because you know the hangover that you brought up from the very beginning. When
Well,
people
if
are like
they
saying
lose.
Yes.
If they
I'm not
lose.
saying they're going to win it. I'm saying they're going to the Super Bowl. If they win it, I think it's going to be that story like, who won it that year? But I think it's going to be, even if they win it, I think it's going to be just they have the right ingredients at the right time. Packers at 49ers, that one I've been vocal about that I think that's all 49ers. They are the top 2 seeds in the NFC. They have a combined record of 28-6. Both had home wins coming off the first round bye. But Green Bay, you're up 21-3, and then you make that a game. Nah, Put your foot on their necks. That's it. But they are the Packers are riding a 6-game winning streak, and have gone 11-6 against the spread on the season, and they're 5-3 against the spread on the road. Like we mentioned, the 49ers took care of the Vikings 27-10. They were 7-point home favorites. That was their third win. San Fran has gone 10-6-1 against the spread, but they are just 4-4-1 against the spread at home. 49ers are 7-point home favorites in this game, and some places it has been pushed up to 7.5. As far as the Chiefs go, that's they're favored roughly around the same area. Sunday, this game is going to be played at 5:40. The NFC Championship game.
So a little shake and cake in the house.
Shake and cake.
Sitting by me, good looking.
Walking into Hassel Castle.
I can't take the surge chair.
No, I took it.
Yep. You're over by us. Where's Cake? What's up, buddy?
up?
We got Iowa basketball to talk about. How did you
know
make
what
it back? Did you make it back last night, or did you stay overnight?
No, I.
Wait, you didn't go up there and
I
bug
went-
him the whole time
No,
yesterday?
no, I didn't
Oh.
shadow him.
Oh, no.
They didn't give me.
Hey, Cakes.
Hey, Cake.
Cakes, where's the free stuff at today?
He said little
Cakes.
dog.
Yeah.
Hey, Cakes. What are you doing after the game?
I had to do that because they moved my seat at Carver. I had to do that before the
I know.
post
I was
media.
like, wow. I didn't even see him there. You know, he's so small.
I kept looking for him behind Fran. I'm like, where's Jay? I was watching the other night when I knew he was there. I'm like, where's Foster at?
Yeah, I got a good food story for you too.
All right.
Oh my
Tom
God.
Kager from Hawkeye Report just joined us in the Hassel Castle, and here he comes in every Wednesday, unless he's got to do a presser with Fran or Brands
Well,
or
he's
KF
pretty important.
or whatever else. So, what do you got for us, Cakes?
Well, it's been a busy week.
All right.
Been a crazy week. Well, the biggest news today, in my opinion, in the last couple days, is that Duke Slater and Alex Karras going into the
Yeah, we talked about
NFL Hall of Fame. I mean, that's
You know what? And I feel terrible that I never heard the Duke Slater story before.
it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, how did I never hear that story before in my life?
Unbelievable. You know.
It's insane. It's a great story.
Yeah.
I mean, back in a time when that was unheard of.
And they had the north end zone, they have that relief thing there that it is Duke Slater. So they have a way to honor him at Kinnick, and just incredible story. And then Mongo going in, or George Papadopoulos.
Yeah.
From Webster.
That's right.
Yeah.
Papadopoulos.
Steve Polychronopoulos.
Out of all the things I didn't even put together,
what is more impressive for Alex Karras, that he's now in the NFL Hall of Fame, or the Pro Football Hall of Fame, I should say it correctly, or that he was in he punched a horse,
or that he was on a long-running ABC sitcom.
Yeah, that's third.
Did he really knock that horse out?
I don't know, but it's funny.
I think it's more impressive that he was runner-up to the Heisman as a
Yeah,
lineman.
that's true.
As a D lineman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine how dominant he had to have been.
He's great.
To get that
But
kind of
there are a
talk.
lot of people at Iowa that are kind of, I wouldn't say bitter, but just don't have he doesn't have the love and kind of adulation that he normally would, because he feuded with Forrest Evashevsky so much, quit the team a couple times. So they were not friendly most of the time. So, but a hell of a player, So, and then we had yesterday was announcement day for AJ and for Tristan and also Torrin Young.
Yeah, what's Torrin
Oh,
doing?
yeah.
What's
You
going on with
mentioned
that?
Well, Torrin, that was kind of a poorly kept secret that he was going to be leaving. I figured he was just going to transfer because he has a year that he could sit, and then he could, play another year of football. But he's just going to, graduate and move on with his life. So good for him.
He's done playing football.
Well, he's going to try and get in an NFL camp. See what can happen there. Maybe hooks on as like a fullback or something. Or
Well, there's another league starting up.
That's right. He'd be a battle hawk.
XFL.
Down St. Louis.
Well, he could be a roughneck. That's Tom's team. He likes the roughnecks. I wrote it down. That's how I know.
Take notes.
Oh, yeah.
He
see?
does.
Everybody makes fun of T-Roy's pen and paper. Not everything's a computer these days.
That's right. Notepads.
That's right. Notepads, scrap sheets. I'm saving the trees right around here.
So
saving the planet. I'm doing more for this planet than Joaquin Phoenix has ever done his entire life. I can tell you that. That ding dong, by the way, drugged out freak. Got popular for playing a villain from Batman. Go screw yourself. I'm tired of
He's
that
a great actor. Did Johnny Cash really well.
Great actor.
Yeah, I can do Johnny Cash really well
Great
too.
actor.
You know, I did Johnny Cash very well because he's a drug addict. It's real easy. Hey, I know what it's like to be all drugged out. Hey, everybody, I'm Johnny Cash.
He was great then.
He was.
That
It
was
was a good movie.
That was a good movie.
I love me some Reese Witherspoon though.
Oh yeah. June Carter. Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of food, you have a food story for me.
What's the food story?
So last night went to Northwestern. I did drive back last night because I didn't want to have to deal with this stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty slick.
And so I'm like, I better just get back. And I was going to be able to get back in time before the weather hit. So my friend Julie lives up in Chicago, works for Pepper Construction, which is a big company up there that they did the renovations of Wrigley and everything.
Oh, nice.
So they have seats for Northwestern. It gives you access to this club thing that they have there.
Uh-oh.
Full spread.
Oh, no.
In there. Sliders all over the place.
Yeah. What kind?
Like
just burgers, or did they have
no, like steak ones and like the hot chicken. I love telling him these stories.
Yeah. Remember back in the day when KFC had Chicken Littles?
Yeah.
Oh, they were like
I do.
little chicken
little
sliders.
chicken sliders.
Yeah, the little. I mean, they were like a little fried
great.
chicken thigh.
Yeah.
Little, like the big part of a thigh, just a little fried chicken thigh, and then they had a little like mayo on it. Man, they were like 25 cents each. They were so good.
It was good stuff.
Good stuff.
I'd get those and just a thing of gravy and just get like 10 of them and just dump them in gravy.
10 of them at 25 cents a piece?
Yes, sir.
All right, there you go. That sounds like a deal.
Yeah.
Sounds like healthy eating to
That's
me.
why-
I think
that's
the
why
gravy,
they don't have them anymore.
I think the gravy was more expensive than the chicken sliders.
I bet it was.
And they had they're like homemade chips, a little spicy. And then they had these dessert things.
Oh, jeez. Tell me they had red velvet cake.
No, but they had little brownie squares. But the best thing, they had a bowl full of just cookie dough, and you could just scoop it out, and it was the best cookie dough I've ever had.
So they basically had a chef come in and just spoil the hell out of you guys.
Oh yeah, it was great.
See, these are the road trips you need to go.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was just fortunate to have access to this thing.
I would just be like, hey,
I was
cakes.
like, I may just stay up here the whole game.
They don't give me that.
I mean, this ain't like
that
going
access
somewhere
for
with Rosso or anything. This is like, hey, cakes, I'll carry your pen.
This is what,
Carry your bag. I mean, you just take a pen and paper, right?
That's who you know. That's who you know. And I get into that place, and that was.
Oh man, you're lucky. You're a lucky guy.
That cookie dough was so good.
That sounds great. That's just a good idea, and just with a little scooper.
Yeah, a little scooper. Just got a scoop, and I was like, "Ooh, this is really good."
Was it chocolate chip cookie dough?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
You guys.
What do you mean, Jay?
Too much of the food talk.
It's like food porn.
The game.
Oh, there was a
big
game.
Yeah, it's a big win, right?
Yeah, any win on the road in the Big Ten.
Yeah, that's
like
what they pointed out.
six-
Yesterday, Don Doxey did in the Quad City Times.
What, 6 Big Ten teams have won on the road now?
Yeah.
So if you're one of those teams that Wisconsin's got 2 road wins.
What are your? I mean, Tom, this team's special, huh?
Well, it was great for Iowa that they got C.J. Frederick back.
Yes.
Because it steadies everything. Don't have to play Toussaint as much, and he had kind of a rough start, and Fran exiled him for a little while on the bench. He got a good view he had a good seat for the game. And it helps steady things because he can make outside shots and he doesn't make mistakes with the ball. And you saw that last night. They had, I don't know what they finished up with, but it was at one point late in the game, it was 22 assists on 24 made field goals.
Wow.
And only 6 turns. So,
That's nice.
I can't remember what it was at the end of the game, but it was pretty close to that. But that's fantastic. You're going to win a lot of, even though they were getting their butts handed to them on the glass because Northwestern was chucking up shots and they were getting long rebounds. That kind of evened out in the second half, and it was basically even by the end of the game on rebounds. And how about Luka Garza?
Dude.
Luka sat for 25 minutes in that game. 25 minutes because he got 2 fouls, sat for a while, and then got his 3rd foul really early in the second half, like the first minute of the second half, had to sit for like 10 more minutes. He didn't score for like 25 straight minutes. He still ends up with 27 points. Now his rebounds were down. It was 3, but I mean,
Dude, he's just a beast.
He is a scoring machine.
He's transferred himself. Like he spent the off season. Like
Oh, he's always been a pretty good offensive player.
But I mean, he's doing more with his footwork and his strength. I'm telling you what, he looks a lot stronger than he did in years.
What's made the difference, in my opinion, is they don't have Tyler Cook down there occupying that space.
That helps.
It makes a gigantic difference because now you can't play two guys down there. It just clogs things up.
And Cook was great. Don't get me wrong. I loved Cook.
Yeah.
But it always seemed to me like whenever Cook was around the rim, he had trouble finishing around the rim sometimes. Where Garza doesn't.
Well, Garza's more of a willing passer too.
Yeah.
He'll look to kick it back out, move it around. And the other thing that Luke is doing that's really impressive is when he gets the ball down there and he knows that double's coming, he's just going quick to a baseline move or a short jumper or something. He's going really quick.
He's letting the peacock fly.
Let the peacock fly. Frank Garza, let the peacock fly.
Him and I are Twitter buddies.
Are you? You and Frank?
Well, because I understood the reference.
Yeah.
Yeah, we tweeted back and forth. Just
let it fly.
They follow each other.
By the way, we call him Big Frank.
Oh, okay.
Jay's upset because I got to call.
Wait. Yeah.
He's upset still over it.
We talked to Quinn early after
Jay.
The passing of Hayden Fry, and we were joking, and I was like, "Hey, don't embarrass me when I call Q here." And I said, by the way, I don't call him Q because we're not on that relationship yet, right?
Yeah.
He may be in my contacts. He may text back to me, "Sure, Jay, love to be on your show," and that. But I don't say, "Hey, Q," or anything like that. And then he just drops it in the middle of talking to him. He's like, "Q, when you were playing," and I'm just like, "What? You can't do that." We're on the phone with him talking about his playtime, and he's just like, "Hey, Q, let me ask you." And it just like rolls off his tongue. Like, I'm trying to build this relationship.
How did he react?
Oh, he was like,
loves me.
It. Yeah, he's like, "Oh yeah, good question."
He loves me.
He's like, "Yeah, they've been they're hoops buddies. Like they play hoops together or whatever else."
Hey, why are you wearing a Boston Bruins hat today?
It's not. It's a beef.
By the way, did you buy Q's book?
No, but
I
you
got it
did,
for
yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah,
I started reading it.
Speaking of Boston, I will come back to Iowa. Cakes, what do you think about the Major League Baseball and the suspension that has happened and
what
coming
do I
down?
think of that? I think it was completely justified.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Jay thinks it wasn't enough.
It might not have been enough, but I thought what the Astros did in firing both guys was trying to save face and look like they were. It's a PR move more than anything else. Same with the Red Sox getting rid of Alex Cora, PR move. Now they couldn't stay, but it just seems they should just ban him from baseball. If you're going to cheat, cheating's against the rules in baseball. You have to have some backbone to it. So just get rid of him. Don't let him back in the game. I thought Lunau's comments were tone deaf. Basically, I didn't know he was Sergeant Schultz from Hogan's Hero. I know nothing. I see nothing.
Yeah, he basically said like I didn't do this, and Houston and Major League Baseball saying turning a blind eye to it is doing something. Hey,
which is a load of crap that he didn't know.
If you we'll make a Rush reference too because we lost Neil Peart. If you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice. He knew about it. To be like, I didn't know. It's just like you said.
He knew.
Yeah, they all knew.
I mean, just the only guy that kind of actually came out decently in it is probably Hinch, just because he didn't really like it, but he should have had the courage to do something more about it besides destroying a monitor.
Yeah.
You're the manager of the team, and if they, which also tells me that this directive was coming from up on high a little bit, and I'm still kind of chapped at the Astros for the way their management behaved in the World Series with the Osuna thing.
Okay, well this didn't happen in the postseason though. The banging.
No, I'm just.
By the way, MLB, you can come up with something else besides banging scheme. to describe this. I mean, that's what in the reports it says. Banging.
I wish I could give whoever it was
Sounds like a craft thing
on Twitter the correct credit, but somebody they should call the scandal "bang the garbage can slowly."
I don't want to cheat. I just want to bang
the
on the
movie,
drum.
But this didn't happen in the postseason. People are saying like they. And I'm not trying to water it down or anything, but
imagine if the Astros would have won the World Series this year.
Yeah, I think more about the other things. I want to look into like players that maybe had 14 wins instead of 15 wins or 19 wins instead of 20 wins, and that have a loss to them against it, and in their contract, if they get 20 wins, it was this. These are the type of things, or strikeouts. This many strikeouts in a year. These are the type of things I want to look at.
They've been there have been rumblings in Major League Baseball for several years that the Astros pitchers were doing some funny things. That some things were going on with the baseball.
Yeah, you can.
That were beyond the norm. That all of a sudden these guys that were pretty average pitchers are suddenly very effective, and ball's moving a little bit differently than it was. So there's been some of that rumblings that have been going on for a couple of years with that organization. So I'm going to be curious to see what happens with some of their pitchers now, if they're going to be less likely to engage in some of the chicanery, I guess, that they've been doing for several years.
CBS Sports' R.J. Anderson has laid out 5 candidates who might replace Cora in the Red Sox dugout. I think it might be time for some of the Cub fans to get to know Cubs bench coach Andy Green, because he's mentioned in a possibility to be replacement in Boston for the Red Sox manager job after whenever this banging scheme debacle gets all figured out. But he's got the Red Sox bench coach Ron Roenicke, Rays bench coach Matt Quattaro. I just mentioned Andy Green. Mets bench coach Hensley Mullins, which, by the way, they're not even talking at all about Carlos Beltran. He was a player at the time. And then another one they mentioned was a Nationals first base coach, Tim Bogar. But yeah, Carlos Beltran was playing in Houston, but now he's the manager of the Mets. They said that they were going to not bother with any players because you can't. They're on teams. Teams might be affected because of what they did. But now Carlos Beltran's just a manager. So, I don't know. Jim Bowden on CBS Sports HQ said that Beltran should be fired for the Mets.
So. If he participated in it, yeah.
Well, what was he the one doing the banging, or who was it?
No, some guy in the back.
Just whoever was getting the messages of what the pitches were coming. I don't know. It is pretty crazy. Do you think they should take him off the?
No, don't remove the world. Don't put an asterisk. It's just silly. That stuff's silly.
That's what I said. When I was talking to with my father, I said MLB will never do that.
You either have rules or you don't. Mm-hmm. And Rob Manfred had before that, when the Apple Watch thing happened.
Yes.
He had laid the law down that said no more of this nonsense. If you can figure out the signs and communicate them through general methods, that's one thing.
The old school way. The way that O.J. Simpson was saying on Twitter.
The old school way.
I'm just saying.
They've been doing this for years. I don't know if you saw it.
Is O.J. the greatest on Twitter now?
It's just one of those things like,
hey, it's your friend the Juice.
Hey,
did you know he was supposed to be the Terminator, but James Cameron didn't think people could believe him as a killer?
Oh, that's a great story.
Yeah. True story. He was supposed to be the Terminator.
What did you know that fact? Was that on like one of the Super? Did you guys watch the Super Jeopardy?
I watched a little bit of it.
Oh yeah, dude.
Was that on Jeopardy?
Holzhauer was funny. He kept clowning the other guy because that other guy didn't deserve to be there.
Oh,
Brad.
The far guy.
He kept feeling bad for
far
Brad.
Right. Brad.
But
Brad was throwing shade at him on Twitter last night.
Oh yeah, but they were because he was like he had 0 at the end of the first round last night, and Holzhauer and Pat goes, or not Pat, but Alex goes, I'm going to reset the scores, and then Holzhauer goes, oh, Brad's still the same.
Jeez.
You got to change Brad.
I watched the first night of this last week, and I haven't watched it. I've
watched it bits and pieces from time to time.
I watched as much as I could. It was pretty awesome.
So who won?
Ken Jennings.
Okay.
Jennings won 3. Holzhauer won 1, but one of the ones that Jennings won, he beat Holzhauer by $200, and that was, I mean,
that
those
was like
two,
night 1.
Yeah, and then last night, I mean, Holzhauer could have had it if he'd have gotten that question right. It was.
I didn't see last night.
We watched the first night, and I said to my wife, I'm like, Jennings is head and shoulders above. Like, it was weird. It was like watching Fear, and the other guy's like, oh, he's got control of this game. And it was only, but yeah, the first he still looked like he was in complete control.
But the second game, Holzhauer had it.
Holzhauer's whole thing is finding the daily doubles, and he didn't have control.
Well, he doesn't get the daily doubles, then his games. Yeah. But he gets the doubles and he nails it.
It's a big sports bettor.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I don't know how we got to that because of the OJ as the Terminator, but yes, he's on Twitter, and it is insane. Like, hey, Twitter world, just going to chime in about this Astros thing. Hey, baseball's been doing this forever.
Neighborhood killer. How you
When
doing?
I played golf with Hank Greenberg and Mickey Mantle, they would get with their boys and talk about all the cheating that they would do and sign stealing. This isn't anything new. Hey, I'm just saying. What?
And it
juice?
always says that. Too. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's his code, like his catchphrase.
It's the juice.
Who are these? Yeah. Who allows this to happen? Let's take our break. When we come back, we'll talk about the game coming up on Friday night, Iowa versus Michigan, and more Hawkeye basketball, football, wrestling. We got
wrestling.
Going on
We
as well.
got to talk Nebraska.
That's right.
Harrington's Pub is the Quad City's premier Irish pub. Come celebrate any day of the week at Harrington's and enjoy the best specials around. Monday through Friday, 2 to 6, with 250 domestic bottles and drafts wells. All that. I can't talk. That's happy hour. And then today is Wednesday, Jay. $3 flavored vodkas all day. Harrington's Pub, putting the H into hangover since 2005.
This is Josh Sides, head coach, St. Ambrose University Esports. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
Get your maximum refund and your taxes prepared for half the price with AmeriFile.
I'm Christy, a single mom from Bettendorf. I got tired of paying $250 at H&R Block, so I went to AmeriFile. As advertised, they did my taxes for far less than half the price.
Bring in a copy of last year's tax return done by H&R Block, Jackson Hewitt, Liberty Tax, or any other tax preparer, and we will cut your tax prep fees in half, guaranteed.
This year, AmeriFile has the best tax prep deal in town. Save hundreds having your taxes prepared with AmeriFile, and you get free Rudy's Tacos, free Whitey's, free Chick-fil-A, Hungry Hobo, or Fresh Blend Smoothies. Trust AmeriFile's 30 years tax experience to handle any simple or complex tax situation. Remember, this tax season, save hundreds with AmeriFile, the best tax prep deal in town. Free Rudy's Tacos, Whitey's Ice Cream, or Hungry Hobo. AmeriFile Tax Centers, Davenport, Moline, and Clinton. Call 762-8087. That's 762-8087 or AmeriFile.com.
H&R Block is a registered trademark. After price taxes from last year's fees. $75 minimum.
From local to global, ESPN 1170 has you covered. Your Quad City sports show is here for you. Don't hassle us. We're local with your favorite foursome. T-Roy, Jay-Bird, Surge, and you. Weekdays noon to 2 on the Quad City sports leader. ESPN 1170 AM wants you to be an insider. Get access to great contests at ESPN1170am.com. Brought to you by Necker's Jewelers, where the Quad Cities gets engaged. From the Quad City sports leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
It's putt around time. Get your foursome together for the 15th annual Big Brothers Big Sisters Putt Around. Over 20 custom-built holes transform the River Center into the most innovative mini golf course ever. Only $30 per person and great for any skill level. Register at puttaround.org before January 17th to be entered into a Quad City staycation giveaway. The 15th annual Big Brothers Big Sister Putt Around, sponsored by Wells Fargo and the Quad City Area Realtors, January 29th through the 31st at the River Center in Davenport. Sign up today.
Dust off your thinking caps, grab your best buds, and attend St. Ambrose Alumni Trivia Night. Saturday, January 18th, the Rogalski Center Ballroom will be flooded with knowledge. Will you sink or swim? All proceeds benefit the St. Ambrose Alumni Association and the St. Ambrose Children's Campus. Join the St. Ambrose Alumni Association for a trivia night Saturday, January 18th at 7 p.m. Mulligans and doublers are available for purchase at the door. Reserve your table online at sau.edu/alumni for SAU Alumni Trivia Night.
And now an old classic commercial from Mark Branny.
Every time my wife and I go to the mall, I end up wandering around while she shops with my credit card. Maybe I'll step into this arcade and check out their new virtual reality game. I think I'll try the virtual reality all-terrain vehicle ride.
Here's your goggles, sir.
Well, here we go. This new technology is kind of cool, but nothing beats hitting the rough terrain on a new or used ATV from Brenny's Motorcycle Clinic. With a real ATV, you can travel through the woods, over hills, in mud, or snow as you feel the wind in your hair. And right now, Brenny's has an incredible selection of ATVs to choose from, just in time for fall and winter riding. Well, that's enough virtual reality for me. I'm ready for the real thing.
Oh, there you are, Mark. Look at all this great stuff I bought.
Maybe they should have virtual reality shopping.
The ATV you're shopping for is at Brenny's Motorcycle Clinic, State Street, Bettendorf, across from the Alcoa Arcade. Almost.
At Crawford Company, we specialize in plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. Sports, on the other hand?
Hey, Crawford guy, go long!
No, I can't.
Here comes the pitch to Crawford guy. Strike three.
Come on, Crawford guy, take the shot.
Sports may not be our specialty, but home comfort is. Crawford Company, plumbing and drain cleaning, heating and air conditioning.
Download the ESPN 1170 app today and never miss a thing. Breaking news when it happens sent straight to your phone. From the Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
This is Tom Kakert from HawkeyeReport.com, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
All right, we're back here in the Castle. Me and Tom would like to say hey to Randazzo.
Hi, Dazzo.
Hi, Daz.
We talked the first hour about local places, so I want to tell you guys about Bayside Bistro in the village of East Davenport. It's not your ordinary sandwich shop. It's located at 1105 Christie Street in the East Village of Davenport. You can find they make everything from scratch. They use fresh ingredients, and their paninis like the Bayside Po' Boy and the roasted beet and green bean salad. It's an incredible menu, and like they say, they like to specialize in deliciousness. And you can check out their smoothies, the fresh juices that they make from scratch also, and their incredible dinner entrees. But don't just take my word for it. Check out their Facebook page and read the over 500 recommendations from guests. Again, if you have catering, you're hosting a private event, or you want them to, attend a special event, get a hold of them down there at the Bayside Bistro in the village of East Davenport. And for those of you who are doing new diets, like gluten-free or plant-based diets, they have plenty of menu options for that.
I need to go down there. I've heard good things.
Awesome. It's really good. It's locally
the
owned.
owner was in when they did that Army-Navy flag football game.
Oh, down the East Village?
Well, they did it on the Arsenal.
On the Arsenal, yeah.
But yeah, he was in, and we got to talk to him then. So, and Serge has brought some sandwiches in from there.
Mm-hmm. They're going to be on soon. Because when we talk about, when we get closer to the Super Bowl, we're going to have things like catering, or are you going to do it yourself? You're going to have catering. So we want them to come on to give the option of catering. Another place that's partnering with us, Johnny's Meat Market in the west side of Davenport. That's locally owned also. It's been locally owned since 1952. And they provide, high quality meats and customer satisfaction. We're going to have them on to talk about, the different type of bundles that they can give you, and if you're hosting a Super Bowl party, and
take care of your meat needs at least.
That's right. Yeah. And they've got, for those out there that are hunters, you know what I'm saying? They do deer processing, and they're also part of the Hush program.
Yeah, different kind of hunting.
Yeah, okay.
You know who likes meat? Dazzo.
Dazzo does.
Dazzo loves meat. He loves a good meat sandwich.
Yeah. But the Johnny's that I'm talking about is at 1302 Washington Street in Davenport. And you can go and check out everything else on their website. You can Google it and go to Facebook and go through all the stuff there. It's like I said,
happened to Dad? He used to come in on this show.
He says he's busy now.
So is he?
Mondays is a lot.
Oh, he's busy. Well, pick another day, Dazzo.
He's.
Whatever.
I said, all right, man.
He's big timing us now.
He's a big shot.
Yeah, whatever.
He big times me too.
Does he?
Yep.
Oh, you guys don't get a workout at the Pepsi Center or whatever?
No, he's always been, he's always, it's only on his schedule that we do those.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's a big time TV guy.
Yeah, you know how those pretty boy TV guys are.
He is very pretty.
So we are talking about Friday.
He wears makeup.
Well, he's got to. He's on television, right?
We never had to.
You look at me like, oh, it's not just television. Poor guy's not here to
He
defend
wears his
himself.
makeup home.
He wears it.
Wears makeup home. That's all I'm saying.
It's so unfortunate he's not here and you got to defend yourself.
Hey.
Don't
You're like,
watch
you know he wears makeup.
He'll
right?
be in Friday now. I'm coming in Friday.
I found a new day.
Wonder if he's still listening.
Yeah.
I wonder. He probably had the kids in the car with him. He shut it off right away.
Call in, Dazzo. Defend yourself.
391-3776.
Answer the
He knows the
question.
number.
Answer the question. Do you wear makeup? Yes.
I want answers, Dazzo. I want the truth.
The game on Friday night with the weather coming, and we need to stop this. We talked about it on Monday. The whole idea of and now there's a possible nether storm. It's wintertime, folks. Don't put fear into people. There wasn't a lot of people at Carver on Friday night.
It was a good crowd.
Oh my Lord, that crowd was great.
And
I tell
you know what
everybody
helped
this.
was the officials teeing up Fran. That got
Yeah,
everybody
got 'em
into
going.
it. That got him going.
I tell everybody, I'm like, hey,
Teeing up Fran.
I was like, I'll take that crowd every time. You like to see more bodies in there, and I'm pretty sure I felt bad for like even the ice cream line. There was no one in the ice cream line. I felt bad for the guy who sells popcorn. Like there's no one in his line. Like I felt bad for those people that are trying to make some because it's the popcorn guy. That's his business.
Oh,
yeah. But no, the crowd was awesome.
Yeah.
Really awesome. And so I'm excited for Friday night. They got 3
Friday's
going to
be interesting because of the way Juwan Howard has pretty much decided he does not double post. So last time he didn't double Luka, and I thought, well, maybe it was just he didn't want Iowa shooters to get going. No, that's just the way he plays. He's just gonna, if a post guy gets going, he gets going. Luka scores 44 on him last time, but Michigan won.
Mm-hmm.
They may be without Isaiah Livers, who hasn't played since the end of December with a groin injury, and he was averaging like 13 a game. So that'd be a big difference for Michigan. But if they don't double Luka, he's going to score 40 again. I mean, it's just how it's going to be. And I like Iowa's got 3 home games in a row coming up. So
Michigan, Rutgers, and Wisconsin, right?
Yep. And all winnable games. And as tight as this league is, they can jump up to 6-3. They'll probably be in second place in the league.
Well, I'm going to tell you guys right now, that Friday game's getting played. It's time for T-Roy the Weatherman, Jay.
Right, the Randy report.
I'm giving you the Randy report here, Caker, and I don't know if you know about it, but from now on, when you get your weather, you're going to get it from the Macho Man. Friday, we're only going to get 1 to 3 inches. That's enough for the Hawkeyes to pounce a Michigan butt.
Hey, Mach, can I get some Slim Jims?
Snap into it, Tommy.
All right, just checking.
Love the Randy report.
Yeah,
just checking. What about also Saturday wrestling?
Yeah.
Against the Bug Eaters. The Bug Eaters shouldn't be ranked number 2 though. They lost the other.
They're down at number 7 now.
Who are the Bug Eaters?
That was Nebraska's
their mascot before they bought the Cornhuskers from Iowa.
Yeah, it was.
Bought the rights to
They
it.
used to be known as the Bug Eaters.
How did they buy the Cornhuskers from us? When did we sell that?
There's a story.
Yeah, I can't remember the story, but they
bought the rights.
They were
to
the Bug
Cornhuskers,
Eaters.
yeah.
Nebraska Bug Eaters.
They're number 7 because they just lost a duel to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
They dropped down to
we
number
haven't
7.
talked about the elephant in the room, though.
What's that?
What's going on with Penn State?
Oh, my.
Ooh.
Oh. What is going on? Like, you can't do that, right?
Like, so it might. I barely read anything on this, but from what I understand, the hazing.
All I know is that Matt
hazing-
Randazzo has told me that he was going to give me a Sandusky once. And
Oh.
So that's what's going on? The football team is hazing freshmen.
Yeah.
Saying that we're going to Sandusky you in the.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And Franklin's doing nothing about it.
Well, and of course, we did an internal review.
Sure you did, like the last one you did.
Yeah, like your last one when you had a 60-year-old man molesting kids in a shower.
God. I suppose this one isn't true too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
former Penn State football player Isaiah Humphreys filed a federal lawsuit Monday against the university coach James Franklin and former teammate Damian Barber. The suit alleges that Humphreys was subject to hazing brought on by Barber, linebacker Micah Parsons, defensive lineman Uter Gross Matos, and linebacker Jesse Lucata, And the coaching staff was aware of the hazing and did not protect Humphreys. The allegations include instances when named players collectively orchestrated, directed, and facilitated a campaign to harass and haze underclassmen on the Penn State football team. The hazing alleged in this suit includes the participants stating that they intended to make the underclassmen their female dogs because this is a prison.
Oh, my.
The participants allegedly referenced former defensive coordinator Jerry Sandusky, who's serving and saying, "I'm going to Sandusky you." That is not a good thing.
And
that quote right there.
And then Penn State putting out the thing, well, we reviewed it, we didn't find anything, and we sent it off to the police, and they decided not to press any charges on anybody. Of course not. They let the Sandusky
that's what happened
stuff.
last time.
Yeah. Pardon us if we don't actually believe that you guys are going to do anything about this, because the culture up there is just, it's weird.
It has to be.
Penn State, the campus is just, it's up in the mountains, in the woods. It's this insular, I wouldn't call it backwards, but just it's off on its own. It's got its own, they cover up for their own kind of mentality.
Oh my God.
You know, and
when are they going to learn? How many times does this have to happen?
They won't. And James Franklin is kind of a jerk.
The person who does
I want to use a different term, but I don't know if I can.
The person who no, you can call someone a dick.
A D-bag.
Yeah, okay.
You can say douchebag.
Okay.
So the father of the guy, Leonard Humphreys, is a Penn State grad who played football for Penn State. He actually got drafted by the Buffalo Bills in 1992. So he understands the football pedigree, and he knows the coaches, and he told the coaches what was happening to his son, and it was reported to him by his son. No action was taken to protect the student athlete, is what this goes on to say.
It's exactly the same. You know, it's just...
Did he leave the program because of it?
Yeah, he's at
he
Cal.
left in 2018, enrolled in Cal. He's now part of the football program, yes.
The culture will never change there.
It doesn't happen in Iowa, I can tell you that.
No. Stuff like that will not happen in Iowa.
That's
okay, so when does stuff like this stop? The idea of saying we're going to Sandusky you, to use that as a verb in something that is so bad, and you also want to, the Penn State nation...
By the way,
I mean, I'd say that's a randazzo as a joke.
At least two of those guys are really good players, too, by the way. So...
But I mean, the Penn State nation too. I mean,
and of course, the Penn State fans are just ripping this kid to shreds.
Of course they are, because they're a bunch of douches.
It's just that, I'm telling you, it's the culture up there that is just, it's out of whack. They just protect their own.
Well, they have that nutball. You probably don't remember this. That Ziggy guy that defended Sandusky to the end. He has all these wacko Penn State fans believing that Sandusky's innocent.
Yeah,
I mean,
my wife is married into a family that are Penn State fans. A good portion of it. Her father grew up in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Her aunt and uncle live in Altoona still. They were season ticket holders forever, cousins and everything. And we went out to visit her cousins in New Jersey, and first thing her cousin's husband said to me is, "Don't even bring it up, because we'll argue."
Okay.
Don't even think about it.
All right.
And I'm like, I wasn't going to bring anything up, but you know, it's because they're the truthers that believe that Joe didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like, nah, Joe, he didn't know.
He knew.
Of course he knew.
He knew.
Of course he did.
He knew. The hell out of here with that.
The NCAA's got to step in and do something.
Justice was handled differently with guys like that back in Joe's day. In Joe's day, when guys did that, you'd take them out back and you'd knock them upside the head a few times and tell them to knock it off.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you would do. It was different.
Is different though.
This is a different world.
This isn't just an average blue collar crime or whatever you want to call it, like somebody doing something stupid. This is molesting a child.
I'm just saying that nothing surprised me with James Franklin. He's not a good dude. Just not.
Before we're done for the day, your predictions on the NFC Championship game, the AFC Championship game. Who you got?
Going with both favorites.
So Chiefs and
Niners win it all.
Niners win it all.
Yep.
The Joe Montana special in the Super Bowl.
I just think the Niners defense is the best defense out there, and that's going to be the difference. Yeah. And George Kittle.
And George Kittle.
Kittle is great.
All right, well, I'll see you on Friday night. Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Guys out there, support local. Keep it up, everybody out there. And we will talk to you tomorrow. Enjoy yourselves, Quad Cities.